All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel once more. I thought this one was a little goofy, but it makes sense at the same time. But what you get for what you're paying now for these shacks, shanty towns, basically. I mean, they're old homes, they're historic, and somebody's gonna buy them, right? But they're not worth for what they want for them. So would you buy, or should I say, co-own a home with a friend? Well, I mean, you would pretty much do the same thing with your spouse. So why not do it with a friend if you're not going to get married? So let's tune in and see what's going on here.
Well, welcome to our home in Washington, D.C.
We've been friends for over 15 years and decided to co-buy a house together.
Yeah, that's risky business. So you've been friends for most of your life, but all it takes is one argument, one disagreement, one fight, unnecessary, uninvited guests coming over, people you don't like. Yeah.
As the cost of homeownership continues to rise, prospective homebuyers are getting increasingly creative. Some are co-buying with friends and moving in together.
When I started going to open houses, I was like, I think we're gonna need some more money. So I said, what if we both bought the house together? And Jasmine was like, yeah.
We've been friends for 18 years. We are practically like brothers.
I co-bought with my now spouse, Julia, and our friends who are also married.
In 2025, about 5% of buyers co-bought with a friend.
Look at that. So it's not even a trend yet. It's way down in the single digits still. Versus the old school way is probably still the best way, because look at that number, 52%. But then the problem is people aren't marrying no more. So maybe this trend will come up in the next 5 to 10 years.
I think every generation has had their challenges of getting their foot in the door of home ownership, but I don't think we've ever seen the cost of home ownership be this high.
The current housing supply in the U.S. does not meet demand, with an all-time high shortage of 4.7 million units reported in 2023.
Okay, and that came from Zillow, which is a big-faced lie. There is not talking about little towns, but cities, like say cities that are at least 100,000 people and up, there's several homes available on the market. Due to corporate greed, a lot of them are sitting empty because of all the unnecessary fees that they're trying to get over on the people that have potential to buy them. So there's several apartments and homes sitting empty because people don't think that they're worth what they're trying to charge for it. So these are corporate landlords that own these homes and they don't mind them. They have the money to let them sit empty. So there's no home shortage. It's a shortage of affordability.
This demand has partly resulted in average sale prices surging nearly 40% over the past 5 years alone.
Interestingly enough, the job market is pretty much in the sewage drain right now, right? Sewage juice. So as people tend to lose all these high paying jobs at alarming rates, who can afford to buy these homes? The home costs are going up, just like the percentage rates of people losing their jobs. It's not making much sense.
But coupling up quadruples the number of affordable listings for prospective homebuyers.
You can suddenly have access to so many more homes.
And see, most millennials are choosing to live like this, boxes stacked on top of each other, these quote unquote luxury apartments that are pretty much made out of cardboard. I call them mushrooms. They throw them up so quick. They don't even look that sturdy. They look like they're made out of just cheap construction material.
Homes on the market than if you were just buying on your own. So even if you're single, you're able to achieve that American dream of home ownership. You're just doing it in a creative way.
Co-buying with a friend, is it a good idea? Should people do it? It is for some people and it's not for other people.
Despite the financial and personal risks of doing business with friends, some experts say this is just the beginning.
Co-buying was not a thing a decade ago. This is something that has been in response to the affordability crisis that we're dealing with. People are finding new ways to make the numbers work and to become homeowners.
So are we going to see more people co-buying with friends?
No, not without no job, you're not. it's like you need stability to do this. It's like a lot of people are job hopping still. Every 6 months you're quitting jobs, you're in and out of work trying to find new jobs because you're unsatisfied with the current one. Most jobs are not stable, being that people will get hired for a certain job and then they'll get that layoff notice during the meeting. So this is not really the most brilliant idea. I mean, the goal is to stay with family as long as you can. Even Anton Daniel said that. Shout out to him if he sees this video and makes his own version of it. But yeah, that's what it all comes down to. Your money. It still costs money regardless.
Aisha and Jasmine were each recently divorced when they teamed up to buy a house in 2025.
They paid $1 million for a shack. They could have went to Vegas and bought a way newer, way bigger house.
So for us, the bigger thing was to have the village.
I live here with my 3 kids.
And I live here with my 2 kids.
Talk about invasion of privacy. Yeah, that's a lot of excitement in that house.
So 5 kids in total. It's a lot of fun.
And a lot of noise.
We weren't like first time home buyers, so we both had seen each other own houses and take care of them. We bought the house for $905,000.
We put 15% down and split that 60-40.
Okay, so my thing is, if they both got divorced and they both were previous homeowners or had their names on mortgages, usually women tend to get most of the properties and values when they divorce. So how come they didn't move into one of each other's houses that they had in their previous marriage instead of going out and buying a whole new home? Because usually whoever inherits the home after the divorce, they end up losing it because it's just too expensive and they can't keep up with the bills and the upkeep. So it's kind of backwards, but different strokes for different folks, right? You lost the house you inherited, but you could go out and buy another one and co-own it with somebody else. It was the same as when you were married.
So we signed a 30-year mortgage, and so that comes to about $6,000 a month, and we've split that also 60-40.
I mean, let's be real. This is what's stupid. Let's say they rented this home for the same price, $6,000 a month. They probably wouldn't even be able to do that because the average person only makes about $300 to $3,500 a month, monthly. And most landlords want you to make 2.5 to 3 times the rent. So a lot of people wouldn't even be able to afford this, not even together, because you have to include all the utilities and everything too. Trash, sewer, electricity.
So I make more money. Jasmine makes really good money, but I make really good money. And so it was just like, it was more fair.
We both equally own the home. We did a joint tenancy, which basically means that 100% of the home belongs to each of us. If something were to happen to one of us, the other person will then solely own the home. And we had to make that decision early on.
It's untraditional, but like, you take much bigger risk when you're like falling in love than like getting married to someone who you've known for maybe 3 or 4 years.
Did she really just say that?
Prospective homebuyers have had to get really, really creative in order to get their foot in the door of homeownership today because they face 2 really big hurdles. The first is that down payment, which has ballooned as prices have risen. And the second is that monthly payment. This is where mortgage interest rates are taking a bigger and bigger bite out of what your monthly payment is. We've seen mortgage interest rates more than double since the pandemic. That's contributing to your monthly payment rising by $900 to $1,000 now compared to just a few years ago.
I'm gonna say this. If this number does increase, it's going to be mostly women that are doing it. It's not going to be a whole bunch of men doing it because they could just become passport bros and just go to Vietnam or Thailand and get something way better than the crap that they could get here in America that's overpriced.
14% of buyers co-bought with a friend in 2023. In 2025, about 5% of buyers co-bought with a friend.
Because of job losses, most people don't have stagnant, let alone income that's consistent.
Mortgage interest rates are now 6 to 7%. The barrier to entry for home ownership is that much higher.
On top of that, other monthly housing costs like insurance, maintenance, and property taxes are rising faster than household incomes.
And let alone the average person doesn't even have $1,000 on the side for some kind of emergency. So it's like you have to make sure you save up enough money for these taxes, the maintenance, and the home ownership, which goes up every year. Home ownership jumps in huge increments. So it's like you always have to be ready, just in case. Now, if you had somebody to lean on that you can kick back and relax a little bit, you have it made. Other than that, you better have a YouTube channel. You better do Uber, Lyft, OnlyFans, whatever you can.
Gen Z and millennials are also waiting longer to get married than previous generations. With today's median age of a new homebuyer at 40 years old, it is taking longer for younger generations to access the wealth-building potential of homeownership.
Yeah, because 40 to 50 years ago, most of the people that were buying homes were still under the age of 30.
But not if they team up with a friend.
They look like they could really be brothers, though.
Hello, welcome to our home in New York.
Do we co-bought together?
And see, that's another problem. Look at the cities that they're buying in. They're buying in expensive cities. DC, New York, Philadelphia might be a little cheaper, but that whole East Coast region is just expensive. But who wants to live in the Midwest? It's too cold. Just too grimy. It was either there or California.
Gilbert and Kwame purchased their home in New York City when they were in their mid-20s.
Individually, seems like we're kind of being priced out of the market, and so getting together to actually pull our money together was our best strategy.
We co-bought our home for $730,000.
It's just the homes are too hideous for the asking prices, but if you don't buy it, somebody else will. You could always flip it and sell it too. So it's not like they're stuck. I mean, look at all that grime right here. The whole porch needs to be redone. And I'm sure they'll come across somebody that can do it.
In 2023.
So this house has 3 different units. Kwame and I live in one of the units. The other 2 units, we give it out for rent.
So wait a minute. This is not even a house. It's a condo. For $700 for a 100-plus-year-old condo. No central heater air. No this, no that. Yeah. We have a problem, America.
So our monthly mortgage is a little bit north of $5,300.
And the average person can't do that on their own. A 1-bedroom apartment in a decent area is going to run you at least $2K. $2K plus. And the more amenities you have, the more you're going to pay. A gym, tennis court, central air and heat, full-size washer and dryer, etc. You get what I'm saying.
Subsidizing that with our rental income, the remainder, Kwame and I just split it right down the middle.
They also took advantage of a Federal Housing Administration loan as first-time homebuyers, allowing them to pay a minimum 3.5% of the down payment.
From the very start, we knew that this purchase would yield the most return after we both move out. And so if life happens, say for example, Kwame gets married, I get married, and for one reason or the other, we have to move out, I guess that's when the real investment starts. So it's not technically the end of the world. This is just a part of the process.
One thing about me and Gilbert is like we kind of do everything together. We go to church together, we play golf together.
Was that good or not?
So it's been more so an easier journey being roommates as well as business partners.
Please use a good shot.
And see, here's the thing. It's like it's hard to vet out just having a roommate. So you're really putting your friendship to the test when you move in let alone do legal contracts with your best friend. So they pretty much known each other since they were in the sandbox. And it just sucks if things go south this way. Like, this is the true test of a friendship, let alone traveling overseas with them and doing business with them. And then you turn around and live with them. So they're like family. I mean, hopefully things work out for the best, but all these people need to be re-interviewed in the next 5 to 10 years to see if their friendship is just as tight.
There's a lot of bloopers. Ooh, I do this all day.
For Jendai and their friends in Portland, Oregon, the search wasn't going well before they joined forces.
The housing market wasn't working in our favor. Our friends had moved to Portland. Randomly, we're like, what if we just looked at this multifamily home? After months of searching, we ended up finding a home that actually fit all of our needs.
Jendai bought a duplex with their partner and another couple in 2024.
For a duplex? For this piece of shit? Oh my God. Do you know what you could get in the desert for $735,000? Something way newer, way bigger, let alone you'll get a house and not a duplex. This same type of duplex in Phoenix, Mesa, Henderson, $200,000 to $300,000. Maybe even cheaper than that because it's not updated.
And so it was kind of like a, oh my gosh, this magical moment has appeared. And it would have been cheaper than if we had bought two homes separately. We purchased it for $735,000. We put down $40,000, and then
see, the problem is when you buy these ancient Victorian or just overall homes that were just too old, the good thing is the walls are pretty solid. So it's hard to even put a nail or a stick pin in the wall. The downfall is it's full of asbestos, full of chemicals. So when you do start doing renovations on the home, or you knock a wall out or have to dig into the wall, you're exposing yourself to dangerous parasites and chemicals. So I would have to pass up on something that's old. Like, if something is built before the 90s, I wouldn't even consider it.
And our monthly mortgage payment, including taxes and all that, $5,700. So divided by 2, about $2,850 per household. We do 50-50 per side of the duplex. So we all equally own 25% of the house.
So how do you decide?
I just can't get over the prices for these duplexes. I mean, the good thing is partially it's made out of brick. But on the West Coast, Oregon is prone to earthquakes, so a brick will still crumble. Brick built type homes are more suitable in the Midwest because of all the twisters and tornadoes and all that stuff. But on the West Coast, homes made out of a brick doesn't really do much justice.
If co-buying is right for you.
I just think that people have to do some self-examination and decide, what is my lifestyle? When am I happy? When am I unhappy? And based on that, decide whether this type of arrangement suits them.
With co-buying, there can be many more unknowns to navigate as the years go by.
I think it's really important that you put everything in writing before you enter into a co-buying agreement.
I often tell people that they should think of the agreement as a form of insurance. Why do you buy, let's say, fire insurance? Probably you're never going to have a fire. In the unlikely event that you did have a fire, you really would want to have the insurance. There's a lot of people out there without agreements. What's the problem with that? Well, they're just taking more risk.
Jendai and their fellow co-buyers are currently in the process of working on a legal agreement.
We kind of came together and decided on a few things that we wanted to make very...
Whoa, she goofy. But she looks fun. And she's having fun cooking that meat too on the stove. Their space honestly looks cramped. Pretty cramped. They're paying a lot to live there, but if they're happy, I'm happy too. Good for them.
Very clear. Chores, those...
And they seem very handy. Good for them. So they seem like the strong and independent type. Nothing wrong with that. They saving all the money they can. Why pay somebody when they could do it themselves? Especially when it's something simple.
rotate. If something happens to one of us, or if someone decides that they want to separate from their partner, or I'm done living the duplex life, I want a single family home, what does that mean for their side? What does that mean for the finances? What does that mean for any of the structures that we've put in place so far?
Yeah, that part. What if you get tired of one of the quote unquote, they still roommates, they all living under one roof. The only difference is they're buying. But people get tired of each other just like couples do. So when it comes from a legal contract perspective, the same thing happens when you guys just don't work out in that house. So if you want to check out the rest of the video, I'm going to stop it right here. I kind of went over my time limit. This is Kai LeVeo. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.